Have you ever felt like there are two versions of you? One that's clear, focused, and in their purpose, and the other that caves into urges again and again? You tell yourself never again. But a few days go by and boom, you're back in the same loop. Guilt, shame, numbness. It's not just about porn, it's about who you're becoming. So today I'm going to walk you through the 3-phase recovery system that I use and teach to finally break this loop. And not just with discipline, but with a transpersonal embodiment healing. So you don't just quit the habit, you reclaim your power. So I'm Austin, and I help high achievers break free from compulsive behavior such as sex and porn addiction. And by using higher consciousness work, not just willpower, it's not about shame, and it's not about quitting porn to become more productive. This is about remembering who you really are. You're a soul on a mission. So let's get into it. So step number 1, phase 1, is you want to interrupt the pattern. So most guys try to resist urges with willpower, but resisting just strengthens the shadow. The first step isn't to fight the urge, it's to interrupt the pattern at the root. So here's how you want to do it. When the urge hits, pause and label it. Say to yourself, a part of me wants to escape. What is it trying to say? Then instead of distracting yourself, dialogue with that part of you, write it out or speak it out loud. Ask, what do you really need right now? This moment of pause begins the disidentification process, and you realize this urge is not me. It's a wounded part of me seeking relief. This is where transpersonal healing begins to shift the game. You're not fighting the urge, you're listening to your soul beneath it. So phase number 2 is you want to reintegrate the shadow. So now that the pattern's been interrupted, we want to go deeper. This is the phase most people skip, so they relapse again and again. This is where we turn inward and meet the shadow behind the urge. So you want to ask yourself, when did I first start escaping this way? Number 2, what emotion am I avoiding right now? And number 3, is there a younger version of me here that never got seen or held? This is where the inner child work and mirror work or dialoguing can come in. So you're not just trying to stay clean, you're healing fragmentations of yourself. So in transpersonal psychology, we call this integration. And you're reclaiming split off parts of your psyche and restoring inner wholeness. So porn addiction is often the symptom. The root is a deep exile of the inner feminine. Your capacity to feel, to connect, to receive love without shame. So by facing your shadow with compassion, you become the divine masculine in your own life. You become present, protective, and loving. So let's move on to phase number 3. Rebuild identity and confidence. So you're going to rebuild your identity and confidence. Once you've met the shadow, you start rebuilding something. You start building something new. So confidence doesn't come from never relapsing. It comes from knowing who you are beyond the addiction. This phase is about embodiment. You want to embody this divine, sacred masculine. And here's what that looks like. So morning mirror rituals. This is what I'd like to start off with when I was doing this. You want to affirm who you are becoming, not just who you were. So for an example, I'm a man who honors his energy. You want to have some movement and breath work, reconnect with your body, build somatic resilience. I want you to create a purpose path. Channel your freed up energy into building something real. I want you to build a craft or create some art out of your soul. What's your mission? Do you want to build a business out of this? Like, what is your why? And I want you to channel that energy into that why. And as you do this consistently, you don't just avoid relapse, you outgrow the need to escape. The old self begins to shed and die, a new archetype emerges. So higher consciousness means you begin to see urges as signals, not threats, not enemies, just messengers telling you it's time to come home to yourself. So this system works, and because it's not about fighting your addiction, it's about transcending the identity that needs it. If you want a free guide on how to apply these phases step by step, I have an urge checklist in the link. Just check it out, and if you're ready to go deeper, to not just quit but fully transform, apply for my one-on-one coaching below. This is for men who are done playing small and ready to lead their life from presence and power. Remember, the urge isn't the enemy, okay? It's the initiation. And your higher self, it's been waiting for you to answer the call.